Chapter 492 to 493 Blizzard City Special Train. Chen Jingguan came from a good family. His father was a high-ranking military officer. Otherwise, he would not have become a lieutenant commander at the age of less than 30. Although the end of the world has come, the titles and powers he had before have been reshuffled, but the resources and connections are still there. Just like Chen Xinyan, the leader of the Xishan base, and Zhu Zheng, the commander of the Jiangnan region, are old friends. Chen Jingguan also has friends in Blizzard City. At this time, several major forces in Tianhai City are of the same mind, and they all hope to get Zhang Yi's protection. So Chen Jingguan came over like offering a treasure and told Zhang Yi some of the information he knew about the call for the Jiangnan region. I have a friend who is a company commander in the Blizzard City Defense Force. I have asked him about the situation this time, and he knows part of it. This time, Commander Zhu Zheng summoned all the big and small forces in the Jiangnan region to make plans for the future. First, half a year after the end of the world, all places have basically formed some forces of scale, and it is no longer as chaotic as before. The headquarters hopes to unify these forces. Second, integrating forces is also to prevent foreign invasions or mutated creatures from causing chaos. Zhang Yi glanced at Chen Jingguan and asked curiously, if you say mutated creatures are causing chaos, I can understand. But what about foreign invasions? Looking at Blue Star now, which country is not struggling to survive in the Ice Age? They have problems protecting themselves, and they still have the energy to harass us. When the two talked, the others also pricked up their ears and listened carefully. Chen Jingguan smiled deeply. Although he became a one-eyed dragon and looked a bit like a pirate with an eye patch, he was born into an extraordinary family and still had a bit of the elegant temperament of a young man. Chen Jingguan put his hands in his pockets and smiled faintly. A large-scale war will definitely not break out. However, small-scale conflicts in border areas are said to have never stopped. And the key point of the problem lies in China's geographical location. As everyone knows, there are too many countries, big and small, on the edge of our border. And our China has a vast territory. Although the high-level military force is still strong, the military strength is not as good as before. Therefore, we are busy dealing with numerous small-scale harassment around us. At this point, Chen Jingguan said, of course, this situation is not unique to our China. In fact, this situation exists basically all over the world. Even some small countries have perished. Zhang Yi felt a little overwhelmed when he heard this. He rubbed his temple and said lightly, there are too many snakes, insects, rats and ants, and they are indeed impossible to kill them all. But national affairs are planned by the meat-eaters, and we don't need to worry about them for the time being. The decision is made by the top leaders of the region, and they are more experienced than us in handling these affairs. At most, we can act as pawns and do our best to make our own contributions. Zhang Yi's principle of life is to help the world when he is rich and to take care of himself when he is poor. First of all, he must ensure the safety of himself and those around him. But at the level of patriotism, if he needs to take action, he will definitely not shirk it. At this time, the veteran Yu Jiguang said loudly, if someone really dares to invade our territory, I will be the first to go to the battlefield and beat them hard. Xiao Honglian hugged his arms and said lightly, this is natural. But if it is really as you said, I will feel more at ease. At least knowing the purpose of this rally, I won't be suspicious all day long. Although no one else spoke, many people's eyes became hot. They can fight each other for resources, but that is their own family's business. If someone really dares to invade one day, they will definitely be able to sacrifice their lives to fight. Anyway, after the end of the world, they are used to life and death, and their fear of death has faded a lot. Even if they were going to die, they hoped that their death would be worthwhile. While everyone was talking, Hua Hua, who was sitting on Zhang Yi's shoulder, suddenly sat up straight, his eyes wide open like copper bells, staring at the end of the subway tunnel.
Meow.
It patted Zhang Yi's tactical helmet with its white claws, indicating that there was movement ahead. Zhang Yi quickly turned his head and looked at the end of the subway tunnel. After a long while, a faint light suddenly appeared in the darkness, and the boom-boom sound of a train approaching at high speed reached everyone's ears. Here it comes, Zhang Yi said in a deep voice. Everyone looked over there, feeling a little excited and a little nervous. For unknown things, everyone will inevitably be like this. Soon, the lights of the subway broke through the dark tunnel and shone on everyone. It was a military green special train, like a long dragon running underground, and soon it drove to the platform in front of everyone. It was very fast, just like a high-speed train running underground. Speed is of the essence in war, and it is not surprising that a military special train has such a speed. Her skin was as white as snow, and although her smile was bright, it was terribly cold. She looked like a living person. As expected, Luke Heron beside him whispered to them, "This is a robot." Zhang Yi suddenly realized that it was no wonder that he had such a gloomy feeling. This was probably the uncanny valley effect. The conductor bowed to everyone and said, "Everyone, please board the Blizzard train number 13. After that, she walked to the side and made way for everyone. Zhang Yi walked up first with a calm face. After getting on the train, everyone found that this place was indeed different from an ordinary subway. From the seats to the floor and interior, it was completely different from a civilian subway. In the corner at the end of the subway, there were several huge green iron boxes with a faint red light on them. I don't know what they were used for. Zhang Yi was not a talkative person, so he found a seat in the middle and sat down. Zhou Qier and Luke Heron quickly sat next to him. This carriage was relatively spacious, and everyone should have a seat. But no one dared to sit next to Zhang Yi and others, or next to the leaders of the three major forces. Fortunately, these elites were trained in the end times, and they were not so pretentious. They sat casually in the carriage and rested by leaning against the carriage. Soon, the door closed again with a swish. The conductor stood beside the door with a smile, looking straight ahead with his signature smile on his face. Soon, the train turned into a long dragon in the dark again, rumbling and roaring forward. There were no station announcements and no route maps. Zhou Qier and Luke Heron had tense expressions at first, but later they were so bored that they leaned on Zhang Yi's shoulders and fell asleep. But Zhang Yi didn't sleep. When he thought about arriving at the legendary Blizzard City soon, he was not sleepy at all. This chapter ends here. Please like and subscribe. Next video will come soon. Thanks.